stopped and thought about all the things that made you hard today? When I stop and think back to a year ago and how I used to live my life in a bubble, I'm so grateful I took the opportunity to travel to Ecuador. I used to be so caught up in my own life. I found school tedious and boring. I was always so frazzled on the go from practice to practice, and I would constantly check social media on my phone. Not once would I ever take a moment to stop and look at my life. I spent so much time complaining about how much I had to do and how busy I always was, but I never realized how privileged I was to be able to do so much. Going into the trip, I was really nervous, and I'm like, what's going to happen? I thought my group and I were going to be heroes and we were going to change so many lives, but the fact is, every single person I connected with in Ecuador was a real hero. Through their stories of trials and triumphs, or even just a simple smile, every community member in Ecuador helped me become a better version of myself and change my life in ways I could have never asked for. Throughout the 10 days I spent working on the school site, exploring the beautiful country and immersing myself in Ecuadorian culture, I felt my mind broadening and my outlook changing every single day. All my life, I'd been told to take nothing for granted and appreciate my opportunities, but until I went to Ecuador, I never really truly understood what those meant. The main purpose of the trip was for my group to volunteer and complete some work at a school in the village Joo-Jeen. The closest I'd ever come to manual labor in my life was probably when I was younger. My friends and I thought it was going to be a good idea to dig a hole to China with a spatula, so when I heard we were going to be mixing cement and making bricks, I knew that I was in for a shock. What I found the most eye-opening about the manual labor I participated in was that all of our materials were natural. The only synthetic material we used was a few bags of cement powder. Otherwise, we used dirt, mud, and rocks, all from the area around the school. It was so amazing just to watch as we literally built a cement ramp from the ground up and how we took dirt and grass and turned it into bricks. We focused on giving a hand up, not a handout, and I learned the value of that concept as I was able to have a hand in improving the school, which would continue to be improved even after we left. By giving a hand up, we provide the community with the ability to continue the work themselves without our help. The community participates in what they call mingas, where everyone works together to complete a task. I absolutely loved the concept of a minga and how everybody in the community was so supportive and caring for one another. Everything they do is for each other, and they were all so selfless. Even though they don't have much, they always wanted to give and help as much as they could. Seeing how grateful the Ecuadorians were for all the work we had done made me realize I don't show half as much appreciation for the people in my life who do so much for me. This was my first big perspective change. Understanding how lucky I am and that I should take absolutely nothing for granted because I have so much to be thankful for. While we weren't collecting rocks or making bricks, we got to spend time and connect with kids from the school. The kids I connected with touched my life so deeply, and I'll never forget all the lessons they taught me just by being themselves. One thing all the kids had in common was that they loved school. It was so exciting for them to have a school in their village, and some kids would even come from neighboring villages that didn't have schools. I met one child who told me a story how they walked for an hour every day barefoot just to come to school. Hearing that story really resonated with me, and it hit me that I should never complain about going to school. Living in Canada, we are all so lucky to have easy access to quality education, and we don't know any different. The reality in Ecuador is that school is a gift, and there isn't a school in every village. Most kids who live in villages without schools can't find a way of transport, so they don't get to go to school. I think it's so unfair that they'll never have a chance to reach their full potentials through education. It breaks my heart that people are denied the opportunity for education based on their living circumstances. I believe knowledge is a person's greatest gift, and everyone should have equal rights to education. This was my second big perspective change. I should never pass up an opportunity to learn, and I must always be grateful to go to school. It's not something I should complain about. I should be excited I have so much to learn. Another aspect that made the trip so amazing was the overall detachment. I had never been separated from technology, and I was always so attached to my phone. I can honestly say after the trip, I didn't even want my phone anymore. Being detached made the trip very surreal because I was surrounded by nothing but nature and good-hearted people. Being away from my life and disconnected from social media, family, and friends made me feel so in touch with the incredible world around me. The whole experience was so much more enhanced because I was always fully living in the moment and I could focus all my attention on the task at hand without being distracted by petty things. Being able to spend 10 days with a clean slate, putting any problems to the side, and just being selfless every day was a key factor in helping me achieve a new outlook. This was my third big perspective change. I can't get caught up in my own problems and always be stressed out about everything. There's so much more life has to offer, and I can't waste time being stuck in my bubble. Otherwise, I'll be missing out. All I need to do is take a deep breath and soak in all the wonderful things the world has to offer. The 10 days in Ecuador came to an end way too quickly, and on the last night of the trip, we all wrote letters to ourselves which we sent to us months after the trip. Writing the letter to myself really helped all that I learned on the trip come together and sink in. I'll now share a part of what I wrote with you because it really expresses how I felt my perspective changed. I want you to remember that it's better to be uncomfortable because that is the only way you will grow and learn. Live your life in the challenge zone every day. Be passionate, be kind, be open, and take risks. Don't be afraid of failure because you will only learn. Let the little things make you smile and be grateful for all the extras you have in life and the people who make this happen for you. Appreciate your education. Focus on what you learn and absorb as much as you can. You're so blessed to be able to go to school and have the opportunity to learn so much. Give back as much as you can to those who need it. A little can go a long ways, and always be motivated. Never give up when things are rough. Remember the dedication of those Ecuadorians who shared their trials and triumphs with you. Never complain about what you don't have. You have a supportive family and friends and a healthy life. Don't say no to things. Be willing to try anything. Let all that you learned on this trip be applied to any aspect in your life. Find inspiration and inspire others. Live in the moment, but let the moments be a path to your future. Do as much as you possibly can and have no guilt no matter the outcome, as long as you gave it your all. Live your life humbly and be proud of who you are, not what you have. Material possessions are nothing in comparison to your voice, knowledge, experiences, and passion. Look at everything with an open heart and open mind. Be ready to take on any challenge that comes your way. Don't complain about not having time. You always have time to do what you care about. Always remind yourself of this trip when you need inspiration, motivation, or see yourself becoming selfish. Take all these seeds of advice and plant them in your life so your future will flourish and you will always keep your life in perspective. I now leave you all with the task to live your life in the challenge zone every day and find inspiration in everything. Thank you.